All right. Will and Dominic, I want you guys to read this article on sinkholes, okay, that we've been talking about here in chemistry for the last couple weeks. And I want you guys to T4 the text. So ask some questions, anything that you understand from it as you're reading. And we're going to have you guys come together in a couple minutes here, 3-4 minutes, and then we'll discuss it. Okay? So go ahead and take your time. Start. Don't forget, you guys can talk to yourself if there's something you understand. Okay.
Did you get anything from the first paragraph?
I just got why human activity is the major cause. Circle back, I don't understand that.
What does that even mean?
Remember, we want you guys to get through the whole section, okay? And then we'll come back and then we'll answer questions on it. And if you guys both don't understand something, first we'll have you guys discuss it. And then if you guys don't get it, then we'll see if we can work it out.
Okay.
Also, don't forget, guys, you can write notes too next to the text if there's something that you had a question about or want to know why, or what it's causing it, what the process it is, or something like that. So you want to ask questions. Definitely circle words that you don't understand the meaning of too.
Yeah. Did you find out the reason why that sinkholes were made by humans?
I didn't see it. But why is, like, it says it's made of limestone, why is that bad?
I'm certain of that.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah, it might come up later on in the reading too. Because remember, when you guys go through some of those paragraphs, they may transition to the next paragraph, or they may explain it as you read on. And also, don't forget to check the pictures too, with the diagrams that go along with it, because that might help explain something too in one of the sections there. It might be an insert with it.
Yeah, I just didn't know how we would go under it. Found out why it's limestone.
Yeah, I saw that. It says, animals die and their shells are deposited, accumulate over time. Acidity of rainwater is not the only reason. I'm just saying.
hopefully we can get you guys through the section here in the next 2 minutes so that we can start discussing some of the stuff that you had some problems with. And also remember any words that you guys have issues with too, because that's the big thing. We want to make sure that you're comprehending the reading that applies to the science behind it.
What is here? Is that right? Here.
Concern?
I thought it meant kind of here.
Like if you have a concern for something, you want to know what's, how their well-being is.
Yeah, I read that wrong.
Just mispronounce, that's okay. Okay, let's go back to the first section. What is a sinkhole? And let's see what you guys think about that paragraph. Is there anything that you guys had that was troubling that we can have you guys talk about that maybe you can help explain to each other, or a word that you may not understood?
We still don't understand. I mean, did you find the answer for human activity? We still don't know. We still don't know why human activity is a major cause. Like if it's something in nature, then why is it our fault?
Okay. Any idea? Don?
I don't know, I couldn't tell you. I would probably guess with like construction and construction sites, but I couldn't tell you how it would begin to start making a hole in, like underneath the ground before above the ground.
Okay. So human activity, you guys are right, on the right track. Anytime that we interact with anything in the environment, we disrupt an ecosystem, habitat, animals, even the ground. So you got to think about what's going on with the water cycle. You guys remember about the water cycle in science last year and even this year. So do we have groundwater? Okay, so groundwater is what helps fill our lake, right? Otherwise, it's not going to open, the lake goes out, right? So if you have something seeping into the ground in the process and the water comes in contact with layers of dirt, like the limestone that goes right up the water, then that can cause things to dissolve. Let's talk about the chemistry of it. Okay?
I actually did read on the second page where it says, like when you see dying vegetation, standing water, muddy well water, cracks in the ground, that can all lead to signs that there could potentially be.
Potentially have one causing a
Yeah,
sinkhole form,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Correct. Yep. And I mean, if you think about that, there's signs and warning signs for lots of things. But why do you think that those things would be a sign of a sinkhole possibly coming? Like, what's a sign that the ground could be being eaten away below?
Maybe like a dip, a small dip in the ground, or
Maybe like waste, like if there's like toxins from anything decaying or anything, like just loose, I don't know, just something.
No, you're on the right track. What do you guys know about the local landfills? Like, why would people not want to buy a house by a house?
It's toxic.
Toxic, but when things decompose, what's the primary thing that's given off by something? Why does something blow when it dies?
Because
the
the fumes and everything, right?
Gases?
Oh, yeah, the gas.
Right, so it's the body's going through the final processes of getting rid of things, right? And even things that are, human waste and stuff like that, it's going to decompose, right?
So fumes build up underground then?
It can build up a gas. So like, for example, those vents. Have you ever seen the vents that come off of like a landfill if you're driven by Auburn Hills over here?
Yeah.
And those are to release methane that's given off, like the same gas that cows give off when they do that. So when that gas gives off, it takes up space, right?
Yeah.
So and if it takes up that space, then it can move out, and then it can cause the ground to shift, right?
Okay.
So that's how settling occurs when you build on things. Okay. Now I remember you guys were asking about the limestone too. So
Yeah.
what did you guys think about the limestone? Did you find anything later on in the article about it?
Yeah, from what it says that it's made out of, and it kind of described it as like it's kind of like loose and easily like broken down. And I just remember other experiments that we've done in like 6th grade when we learned about geology and everything. that it's like really, what's the word for it, like, not malleable, but it's easily broken down. Water will just wear it down and everything.
Easily erodes.
Yeah,
that's
exactly, yeah.
I thought of like the Grand Canyon and stuff, like all the water running through it, and just how that's how the caves were made, or
Right.
all the canyons.
Right, so water erosion or weathering, right, going through it. It's kind of like right now, since we had all this warm weather, what have you guys noticed about the roads?
They're always wet.
And then after
They
it
crack.
freezes and thaws, what
Yeah.
happens?
They crack.
Crack, yeah.
They crack up.
Ice,
right?
what do you call it, ice crevices or
Yep, ice wedge.
ice wedging, yeah.
So the ice gets in there, freezes, and it breaks it up. It's kind of like the same process here, right? So it was talking about the acids and things like that reacting with the limestone. So is there anything you guys had questions on with that?
You know, I mean, I don't know if this is really on topic, but I mean, it says that all, like a lot of the acidity in the ground comes from rain. And how does it even have acid in the rain?
Well, we talked earlier in the year about acids and what causes an acid to form. Do you guys remember? What has to dissolve in it in order for it to be present? Or how acid rain would form? Do you guys remember that at all?
Hydrogen?
Yes, it involves hydrogen.
Yeah. I kind of thought I forgot.
So, what does it say on the back? Take a look at this diagram on the back, where it shows you guys the acid in the water reacting, okay?
Okay.
And then do you see?
Carbon?
Yep, the carbonic acid dissociating the hydrogen ion, which you just said, okay, and then the bicarbonate. Now, that's something that's going to help erode it. So, when you release those hydrogen ions, they can bond to water, right, to create hydronium, which we talked about a while ago.
Yeah.
And rain is naturally acidic, just slightly, but it's so weak we don't really notice it. So if an acid rain's forming, acid rain forms from combining with the fossil fuels given off from factories. So that's why it's more common out west than it comes towards us over here. Remember we talked about the weather traveling across, and then by the time it gets to us, it can deposit it. So areas where there's a lot of factory and things like that can cause more. So we usually get the signs of it. So, but is there anything else that you guys had questions on as far as the back page pertaining to the sinkhole?
I'm kind of wondering, like, how big could a sinkhole be, though? Like,
That's a good question.
does it matter what size, or is there like a typical size?
It would probably
Time would
depend
have
on
lots to do with it too, though, wouldn't it?
time, yeah, for sure. It would also probably depend on how much of the area underneath has limestone or any of the other substances that could cause it to break down and decompose and dissolve, right? So,
Okay.
now, the reason I had you guys read this is because you guys both heard about the sinkhole that just happened about 9 miles south of here, 10 miles south of here, okay, that's affecting the community down there, and the road's closed. So I thought it would be something good for you guys to read that pertains to stuff we've talked about so far this year.
Yeah.
So,
It's crazy, it's so cool.
okay, any other questions?
Oh, my.
All right, good job.